120 to 91. Rockets GM Deron tweeted after the game, quote, "That was painful." The Thunder made the Rockets look amateur at times during last night's game, leading by as many as 35 points, and they never trailed. So here's the question. Did the Thunder prove that they are still the best team in the West? Stephen A. is for you.
No. I believe they're the best team in the West, but I don't think last night proved anything. All last night proved is that the Houston Rockets can't mess with them. This series will be over in 5 games. I'm going to give James Harden a game because I think he's that much of a stud, even though he didn't have a great game last night. Shot 6 of 19 from the field. It's not his fault that he had absolutely no help in the backcourt whatsoever because Jeremy Lin just didn't show up. 1 of 7 shoot from the field, 4 points. 4 assists.
He did show up, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, it depends on what your definition of showing up is.
It was
there are bad games, and then there are games where it's so bad that it's just uncomfortable to watch you play.
Yeah.
And that's what it was last night with Jeremy Lin. On the court with a Russell Westbrook, a Kevin Durant, even a Kevin Martin, a Reggie Jackson to some degree. Watching Jeremy Lin, he just seemed completely out of his league. I'm not going to knock him because I do believe the guy has promise, and I do believe in 2 to 3 years, Jeremy Lin is going to be what people projected. But like I said when I told you he wasn't the answer for the Knicks, these are the reasons why. James Harden had no help last night, and it's just that simple. Chandler Parsons had a nice dunk. I guess I'll give him that, but he shot 4 of 11 from the field. In the end, the Houston Rockets are overmatched. They're a perimeter shooting team. When they're hot, they can cause anybody problems. But they are not the team that the Oklahoma City Thunder are. It's just a bad matchup for them. A sweep would not surprise anybody, but I'm not going to mention sweep and James Harden in the same breath because it's James Harden and I believe in his skill sets. Although I will acknowledge this, as much of a stud as he is, and I believe he is. And I believe he is a star emerging in the superstar status. The fact is, to come off that anemic performance he put forth in the NBA Finals, showing up for 1/2 of the entire NBA Finals, to follow that up with this as your first postseason game, even though I don't believe it's mostly his fault, in the end, you've got to find a way to overcome this and make yourself look a lot better to validate who you are. James Harden is a stud. I love his game. I believe in him. But you can't have an NBA Finals performance like he had and then come back in your first postseason game thereafter. Look the way they looked last night. That was not good.
So you're still not sold on this team being the best in the West right now?
Well, again, I think they are the best. I'm just saying that beating Houston last night didn't prove anything. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I expected them to beat Houston the way they beat Houston. Houston don't have the horses for them.
Another contender went by the wayside on Saturday with David Lee's injury. That was too bad. For
very, very bad.
Mark
I feel
Jackson,
bad for him.
Yes. So that's one down. I still can't make a case for anybody except Oklahoma City, and it's by default. And I'm going to say this again. From what I saw from Miami, albeit against Milwaukee last night, but from what I saw from Birdman, who is allowing them to play a different game than they played, because they finished last in the NBA in rebounding, and I don't think it's that way anymore. Because of that, Stephen A., I think if the Thunder do get back to the finals, I think the Heat will sweep them this time.
Wow.
It was 5 games last time after Game 1 went to Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City. You know what happened in Oklahoma City the night before the All-Star break? That would keep happening. That would happen 4 more times right now because I'm not sold on this Thunder team without James Harden. Nor am I sold on the way the Rockets attempted to play at Oklahoma City. And I am a Kevin McHale fan. I will support him.
He's a good
coach. I was shocked at how they approached this game because they said, we'll go in there and do what they do. We'll try to outrun them in their own building. And they about got run off the floor in the opening 3 minutes because it was 13-2. And I'm going, what are you doing? You can't play them that way in that building with, as you know, that crowd. It's crazy in there, and they feed off the craziness. It's the greatest craziness in the league. And Stephen A., even though the Hardens fought back and got it back to 38 all, then the bottom fell out because Jeremy Lin has too much pressure on him in his first playoff game and just came completely apart. But James Harden was trying to do it all, Stephen A., and you know this. The Rockets can be dangerous when the ball moves around the perimeter. It can be. It was just James, and he said after the game, it felt like every possession was 1-on-5. Well, a lot of that, James, that was you going 1-on-5 because you want to pick and roll.
Because he had no help.
Well, okay.
And let me tell you this.
You had help during the regular season.
Whoa. This is, come on, Skip. You've coached, you've covered the game enough to know.
I have coached
He has coached.
That's right. And you have covered the game. You've covered the game for decades. Skip, take James Harden out of the equation. Allow me to read these names to you.
Chandler Parsons.
Jeremy Lin. Omar Asik. Chandler Parsons. Ashik.
Thank you.
Chandler Parsons.
Not bad.
Chandler Parsons.
Not bad.
Greg Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Beverly.
I like that.
Carlos Delfino.
I like Delfino.
Terrence Jones, Francisco Garcia. Listen, all I'm trying to say to you is this. What else were you going to do if you're Kevin McHale? What else are you going to do? It's a miracle they won 45 games. The fact of the matter is that all they've got are jump shooters. All they've got, listen, they're a guard-oriented team. They're a perimeter-oriented team.
But
that's their only shot at beating anybody.
They 36 threes last night, a lot of them on the run. They made 22%.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I'm telling you, all you can do is keep launching them because you have no other choice. Mm-hmm. Who they going inside on? Who they going to throw the ball to inside?
He can do a little damage offensively.
Please. This man is a defensive player and a rebounder. He's rough and rugged. He's blue collar. He bangs. If he were on the Bulls and Derrick Rose was healthy, that's not a move, Skip. Okay. The fact of the matter is, if he were on the Bulls and Derrick Rose were healthy, Miami would have a problem.
They would.
Okay? Yeah. But he's not. He's on Houston. Okay? His job is to rebound and defend. He's no offensive player. They're a jump shooting team. That's all they are.
Okay? They have to make shots.
That's it.
To get shots, to get the best shots, the ball has to move. You can't just do your dribble at the top with James Harden and Ashik.
Well, when James Harden is playing alongside guys whose eyes he's looking into, and he sees Fright Night like they just saw Freddy Krueger or Jason from Friday the 13th. I mean, I can't knock him for that. I mean, it's just Fright Night. He had no help last night. They didn't show up. They were raw, they were green, they looked like deer in headlights. Breath smelling like Similac wet behind the ears is what I'm telling you. That's what they saw.
You personally met Chandler Parsons in Houston, except he was a cardboard cutout.
Well, listen,
Remember Deron?
Let me say this. I'm the Daryl Morey. He's right. Chandler Parsons can play. I'm not knocking him. He's got a lot of promise. I like him. And I think that Jeremy Lin is going to be fine. But he's not ready yet. And it got exposed.
Wait, so you give them one game?
Only because of James Harden. I want to show him that respect, that he's not going to get swept. I think he could blow up and just explode one game and deliver a victory for you. But that's all.
Skip, did you say?
I'm not going to say.
Oh.
I reserve comment.
Oh, okay. What a tease. Just leave it right here then. All right. Stephen A gives him one. Skip says he's not going to say. Let's talk about the